Hello, it's 10 o'clock and welcome to the weather update. And almost 10 o'clock, it's August 20th, and we had kind of a somewhat hazy day. You could see the smoke over our area today. A little bit, it wasn't terribly thick, but we had a really junky sky. Not only we have a little bit of that smoke around, but we had a lot of contrails and cirrus in the sky. Not a great day for us. However, again, other areas are dealing with a lot worse. And we're going to, of course, talk about that, but I want to get our weather out of the way first, at least for what it was like today. You'll see we did have some of that cirrus around. So at sunset, it did get a little colorful. So we did have some colorful cirrus as the red sun was hitting that cirrus. It made for a colorful sky, but you can see that smoke. And then we have a front over here. So if we look at the weather map, you'll see here. This is the front that's heading toward us. That's gonna have a hot day tomorrow, and then it'll cool off then. And here is Tropical Storm Hilary. So let's get to the latest on that. Figured I'd just briefly talk about our weather. And before we do that, let's go over our climate statistics for the day, and then we'll get to Hilary. Get this out of the way first. So ice slip, we were 2 degrees below normal today. We only hit 82 today. Surprisingly, felt a lot warmer than that here. Central Park, 85. Yeah, so it was more like 85 at Central Park, close to normal for the day. And I also forgot to show yesterday, so we have to look at yesterday too. Yesterday was very cool. 78 degrees was the high, 5 degrees below normal at Central Park, and Islip was go to yesterday's here. Yesterday only 77, so 5 degrees below normal. But you can see the trend. We're getting warmer. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's get to the latest on Hilary right now. National Hurricane Center. It's inland. It's a tropical storm. Still a tropical storm. Latest public advisory. Center of Hilary moves into Southern California. That's right. We're talking about a landfalling tropical storm in Southern California. Catastrophic and life-threatening flooding likely over northern Baja California and portions of southwestern U.S. through Monday. So it isn't just California. It's also Arizona and Nevada as well. As of 5 p.m., its location is 33.5 north, 116.7 west, about 25 miles south-southwest of Palm Springs, Florida. Excuse me. It's not funny. It's serious, all right? But it's because we're talking about a tropical system. I'm thinking Florida. No, it's 25 miles south-southwest of Palm Springs, California, not Florida. That's right. We're talking about a tropical storm in California. Maximum sustained winds are 50 miles an hour, and it's moving north at 23 miles an hour. The minimum sunspot is now up to 997 millibars, 29.44 inches. And let's go to the, there's no really even to show the map as to where this thing is, but we'll show it to you anyway. That's the interactive map. Here it is. So here you go. This is the whole area that's going to be affected here. You can see, so you got Southern California, northern Baja California, parts of Arizona, Utah, and Nevada. This thing's going to continue to move north. And looking at the weather map here, you'll see, again, it's this whole area here that's going to be affected here by this. This is where the heavy rain, flash flooding possible. So you're talking California, much of Nevada, into Utah, into parts of Oregon. But you can see, unfortunately, it looks like the heavy rain is going to miss where all the wildfires are. Disappointing, I know. It'll help Montana and parts of Utah out, but it looks like it's going to miss where a lot of these wildfires are burning. Unfortunately, at least right now in this outlook that it's looking at right now. This is the excessive rainfall outlook here for this. So you could see a high. So places San Diego, maybe L.A., west eastern parts of L.A., parts of Bakersfield, and then into this whole area here, Las Vegas, Nevada, and this goes all the way up into here's Spokane. So maybe at least into eastern Washington, they'll get some help with the wildfires. Maybe parts of Oregon, but this is going to cause a lot of flooding and mudslides and all kinds of chaos that's going to be happening. So let's go to the satellite imagery for Hilary first. And yeah, there are other storms out there we have to talk about too. But we have Emily and Franklin. We'll have to talk about them as well. But let's start with Hilary. Here is Hilary. And you can see looking pretty disorganized at this point. It's But it's basically now a lot of rain that is moving inland over California. And this is pretty crazy to see but this is exactly what's happening. It's pretty nuts that we're seeing this. So let's go to the radar now, and we'll show you. The rest of the country is pretty dry. There isn't really a whole lot going on, but it's here we go. Here's the heavy rain right now, and look at that. It's absolutely pouring, and it looks like the heaviest rain is actually more over L.A. So places like Oxnard, Thousand Oaks, they're getting some very heavy rain. Heavy rain also moving into, it's amazing how fast this is getting pulled up into Las Vegas. They're going to get soaked. And so we have a lot of rain that is pouring down right now over this area of California. And this is what could cause a lot of problems. So let's go to the weather and hazards map right now. So we'll look at some observations. I got to find it. Where is it? This is the Storm Prediction Center, by the way. They even have a marginal risk for severe weather. So here's the weather and hazards map. And you'll see, again, we have all this. This is where the heat dome is in the Midwest. But let's first talk about this first of all. You see tropical storm warning now in effect for tropical storm warning. It looks like it's in effect for Orange County as well as parts of Los Angeles, as well as San Diego County. Now we have this orange high wind warning, flash flood warnings in effect. So we have multiple hazards going on here. Let's take a look at some of the observations that we have in the area. So you can see it. We still got the wind too. Look at this. Palm Springs is reporting 76 with a dew point of 73. I mean, a 73 dew point in Palm Springs is almost unheard of. It's usually a very dry place. And you can see they're reporting light rain right now. And we will look at the rainfall totals, but I want to look at some of these winds because they're pretty impressive too. 63 degrees in this site here. Southeast wind at 27, gusting to 53. So we have some strong winds here. We already did Palm Springs. Let's see if we can find Los Angeles in here. So this is another site reporting a gust to 42 miles an hour. So some pretty strong winds here in California. Very, very windy conditions at a lot of these sites. Malibu Hills got a wind gust of 52. So pretty impressive winds here we have. So yeah, this is, and it's really something to see this type of weather in. 60 mile an hour wind gust here at Burns Canyon. Wow, that's really impressive. So up in these mountain areas, you have 40 mile an hour wind gust at Joshua Tree. 29 Palms has look at that dew point, 66. That's unheard of that far north to see that kind of humidity get in. And I'm just curious as to how Arizona is faring. Here we got another big wind gust here. 53 mile an hour wind gust at Mid Hill. I think I already read that one. Let me just lower the shading a little bit on these because it's hard for me to see where the cities are. Yeah, that's better. The only criticism of this map. Let's see if Flagstaff is somewhere over here. Kind of curious to see if they're dealing with see if they're going to get into that humidity. It's not there yet, but you can see some of these strong winds are really in the Sonoran Desert here. 83 with the dew point of 65. That is humid for that area. So, yeah, really, it's unusual to see humidity in this area. Let's see how Yuma is. Yuma's reporting 81. Dew point 69 for humid and blowing dust. Oddly enough, they're reporting blowing dust, which is interesting. You'd think they would have gotten rain that would have gotten rid of that dust, but these dew points are really high. It's a really tropical air mass in an area that normally doesn't have a tropical air mass, which is nuts. I mean, the desert, dew points nearing 70 degrees in the Mojave is just nuts. So let's take a look and see how much rain they've gotten. Let's go to precipitation. And we'll go and we'll look at the 6-hour precipitation. Yeah, that's got to be more than that. Yeah, here we go. So, yeah, 2.37. I mean, these are areas. Palm Springs has already gotten over 2 inches of rain in the past 6 hours. Catalina Island, 3.44. And we'll put this up to 12 hours here. So, yeah, this is a lot of rain in some of these areas. 4 inches in some of these mountains around Santa Clara. I mean, this is insane. what's going on right now. 3.06 in some of these canyons. I mean, this is really, really bad. So this is a lot of rain in an area that normally just doesn't see it. And, you know, it's a desert dry area. It's got nowhere to run off. So it's going to be... I'm going to put this up to 24 hours because it could even be more. Yeah, look at this. 4.06 Burns Canyon. I mean, these are some really high numbers that we're seeing. So, again, very unusual to see this amount of rain. Yuma hasn't seen that much, but some of these areas, particularly as it gets into the mountains, and again, you got to have that lift as it goes into the mountains. So, yeah, this is going to be, it's only going to get worse from here. That's for sure. So let's go look at the power outage situation. Obviously, it's just starting. California has nearly 50,000 people without power. And we see some of the northern counties. Southern counties, not too many. I mean, they're 4,000, 2,000 San Diego County. Not as much as I feared so far, but we're just getting started. So it could get a lot worse. That's for sure. I'm going to go and look at San Diego news here. Diego news, and we're going to see what's going on here. So down trees, flooding, power outages. Hilary brings damage. So there is already flooding and heavy rain, and it's just getting started. So it's really just getting started. Heavy rain. There's going to be a lot of flooding here. Just put this. I'm just going to put this in here and go to the news thing here, and we'll look at this. Down trees, flooding, power outages. Tropical Storm Hilary makes landfall in San Diego. So it made a landfall in San Diego. That's right, folks. All right. It made a landfall in San Diego as a tropical storm in San Diego. And this is the first time in history that this has happened. So this is a first. This has never happened before. And this is just part of, what's going on with the climate crisis. But we have other storms to talk about, and so I can't forget about them. So let's go to the Atlantic, because we have other storms to talk about. We have an area here in the Gulf that's being watched, 70% chance. We have Tropical Storm Franklin. We have Tropical Storm Emily. And we have another area that's called Tropical Storm 6. So the Atlantic is starting to get active now as well. So let's start with Emily. This is the track for Emily, and luckily I'm not going to spend too much time on it because it's going to stay out to sea. All right? Maximum staying winds are 50 miles an hour, and luckily it doesn't look like it affects anyone. So I'm not even going to pay attention to that. Franklin's a little more of a concern. This is Tropical Storm Franklin, and let's go to the latest public advisory on that. And Franklin is maintaining strength as of 8 p.m. Its location 14.8 north, 67.8 west, about 240 miles south-southeast of Isla Salana in the Dominican Republic, and about 280 miles south-southwest of San Juan, Puerto Rico. Maximum staying winds are 45 miles an hour, moving west-northwest at 14 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure 1001 millibars at 29.56 inches. So not that strong yet, but let's go to the cone here, and this is where this may affect the Dominican Republic as a tropical storm. And then after it moves out, it's going to become a hurricane. After it crosses the Dominican Republic, it's going to have to interact with the land. It'll obviously weaken, but then it gets over the warmer water next week, and it could strengthen. And that's one that we've got to watch. And then we have Tropical Depression 6 as well, and then we have this area. So let's look at some more imagery of all these storms. Let's find the imagery first of all. I got to find it. I put it. Is it over here? I don't remember where I put it. Yeah, here it is. So let's go here and go to storms. And we'll first look at Emily. This is out in the middle of the ocean. It's not going to bother anyone, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. You can see it there. It's nothing that impressive. Let's go to Franklin. So this is Franklin, and this is you can see some blow-ups here, and this is what we're concerned about. This could be a big problem for the Dominican Republic. All right, so that will have to be watched as well. So let's go to some of the spaghetti models now. And we'll go here. Storms. And this is Emily, which we're not going to look at here. This is Emily. You can see the old curves it out. Pretty much curves it out. It's out in the middle of the ocean. You can see that here. So I'm not really going to be even concerned about that, but it's Franklin that I'm a little more concerned about here. In fact, they don't even have it in here yet. I don't know if is this Franklin? This is Franklin. Yeah, so this is Franklin here. And you can see some really impressive blow-ups here. It's not terribly organized yet, but it could become organized. This is the spaghetti models here. And again, it could make an impact with the Dominican Republic here as well. So that's the thing. And of course, we have Hilary. Hilary. So this is Hilary here. Looking, I'm not going to really, you can see it's disorganized at this point. The moisture is moving into California. Good news is it is moving at a good clip. So at least it's moving, and it's not going to sit over an area like Harvey did. And again, but you got to worry about all the flooding that this is bringing, and it's going to be a rough night for a lot of people in California as this moves northward. It's moving northward pretty quickly as well. So, yeah, let's talk about the next disasters that are happening. Obviously, the wildfires. Oh, all right, let's go back over here. Look at the North American, Canada, Northern U.S. view. And you can see all the wildfire smoke over here. So let's just move from one disaster to the next. This is what's going on here. So you can see right here. I'll pause it right here because the MODIS is down. So you can see here's our cold front. Here's the moisture from Hilary. And here are the wildfires. And you can see the moisture is missing where the wildfires are burning, unfortunately. So this kind of sucks. Not much relief for those areas, unfortunately, dealing with it. Let's look at the southeastern Alaska view here. It should show us British Columbia here, and you can still see the fires going here pretty badly along the border, and you can see there's lots and lots of smoke here as well. Got fires all around here. There's fires here. I think Yellowknife is somewhere over here, and you can see fires here in the Northwest Territories burning, starting to flare up as well. And we have wildfires here as well in the border here. You can see on the border. Let's go look at the Pacific Northwest view. And you can see these fires are continuing to burn. Lots and lots of smoke, all shrouding the whole Pacific Northwest as well. You can see, and there's the tropical moisture. So the question is, will this tropical moisture possibly get close to where those wildfires are burning? I see it looks like thunderstorms, but those could just be dry thunderstorms, which is not what we need. In fact, let me go and put this on GLM flash intensity so we can look at this here. Yeah, those are thunderstorms, but if they're dry, they're just going to cause more fires, and that's not going to be a good thing. So let's see how much rain they are. Let me go back to I have the radar up here, so let's see. Northern California. All right, this is the storm I guess we're looking at. It's a pretty bad storm. The fires near Crescent City a little more over here, though, so it's going to miss that. And there could still be lightning with these as well, which might start new fires. So, yeah, it never ends. So, with the wildfire threat. So we move on from that. All right, done. All right, we're talking about Hilary. We've spoken about the new tropical systems in the Atlantic. We've spoken a little bit about the wildfires. Now we got to talk about the heat that's going to be building in the Midwest. So let's go to the weather and hazards map here. And you'll see the heat. Here we got all these excessive heat warnings and heat advisories that are going to be coming to the Midwest this week as the heat ridge builds, and that is going to be pretty bad as well for them. But luckily for us, like I said, we're not dealing with that too much. Let's get to ice slip right now. We're at 73 degrees. I wish it was 73 here. Unfortunately, it's more like 80 in the alley. Yeah, it's more like 80 in the alley. See, it's 82 at LaGuardia. So, yeah, the alley's pretty warm right now. And it's kind of a, muggy night with bad air quality, too. I think we're getting a little bit of that smoke. You see the dew points up there near 69, so it is definitely getting more humid tonight. Definitely feeling the difference. Earlier on, the dew points were lower, but then they started rising. The wind shifted to the southwest, and now we have higher dew points as a result. 75 at JFK. So let's look at our highs across the area today. So highs generally low 80s across Long Island. Much warmer in New Jersey, though. mid to upper 80s, close to 90 in New Jersey. That's, again, that southwest wind over land. 88 at LaGuardia as well. Let's look at the lows. Say 51. Got down to 51 at West Hampton. Got down to 60 at Islip. 61 in Farmingdale. 69 at LaGuardia, and that was similar to what I had in the alley. It got down only 69 last night. And then 52 in the Pine Barrens there, it looks like, around Ocean County as well. So anyway, let's go now to the models. I'm going to find the Tropical Tidbits page. Where did I put it? I have so many things open, I don't even know what I did with it. I can't even find it. I wonder if I closed it down. I don't even know at this point. Let's see. I'll find it. I don't know where it is. I think I put it here. All right, so this is probably what happened. All right, so let's go to look at this week here and start off. So here's the moisture from Hilary. You can see the heat ridge right here in the middle of the country, and you'll see that heat ridge there building. For us, we have a hot day tomorrow. Cold front moves almost like a backdoor cold front. High pressure builds in from the north, cools us down, and then we start getting into that return flow. Another cold front comes through Friday night. We have a high pressure building, and then we got to watch out for this. This would be Franklin here. So luckily right now the models keep it offshore, but we will have to watch it, and hopefully it does stay there. And then another high pressure would build in next week. Though you'll still see there's a little bit of storminess there in the southeast that wants to hang around that we'll have to watch out for. But the good news is I don't see a huge ridge in the Atlantic that would push these storms that are out there toward the east coast at least at this point. Let's look at the jet stream pattern. We want to cover that too. We usually do on Sunday nights. So here we go into this week. You'll see again. There's that trough. It's not a really strong trough. Stronger one comes in through the weekend. We'll have to watch how it interacts again with Franklin. It's possible it could pull Franklin into Nova Scotia, perhaps, or Newfoundland, perhaps. So that will have to be watched. You can see the heat ridge in the middle of the country, and then you can see the trough. But you see there, it kind of gets the jet stream is really just very disorganized. Looking as we head into September, continues to be just a huge mess here. At least there's no huge ridges in the east, but it continues to be a huge mess. Though I do see a little bit of a trough there, perhaps in the Pacific Northwest, that might bring some rain, perhaps for them, and get rid of those fires at least, or help aid in putting them out. But anyway, that's what the upper air pattern looks like. We can look at the Europeans' upper air as well. So let's look at the 12Z on the European. So here's the 12Z on the European. You can see that little trough there. And then another one for the weekend. Looking pretty similar to the GFS. I don't see any big changes here. So the upper air pattern here. So you'll see this week we're going to have the big, again, heat dome. You see the heat dome here in the middle of the country. Troughs on both coasts. So I'm hoping maybe the troughs will help bring some rain, perhaps, to those wildfires, perhaps. We'll look at that as well. And then you see there's another trough, and there's Franklin. And there's I guess this would be Emily here. And it kind of does a weird thing there a little bit. I'm guessing that's Emily. I don't know where that's coming from. But you'll see here there is troughiness in the east, so it won't heat up too much. And then it's showing another storm moving this way. I mean, that's crazy. I don't even get what I'm seeing here. But generally speaking, you see that big heat dome there in the middle of the country. All right. Looking at our temperature anomaly chart, so it'll show where the above normal temperature is going to be. You see generally in the Midwest, and that goes into Western Canada, unfortunately. We're on the border of it, it looks like Friday. And then the front comes through for the weekend, brings cooler weather. But you can see, unfortunately, staying very warm in these areas. This is not good at all. British Columbia, Saskatchewan, Alberta, Northwest Territories, very much above normal. That's not good for the wildfire situation at all, one bit. So although we do see that trough in the Pacific Northwest, it doesn't look like it's bringing any really cool air there. It's just a cutoff, basically, I think. But you'll notice the east generally tends to be cool, and the west tends to be warm. And that generally goes with the pattern we're seeing in the jet stream here. Let's look at the rainfall map here. No, total rainfall. Total rainfall. Let's see what we got. All right, so you can see, generally speaking, not much rain not much rain up there. Not much rain in British Columbia. Maybe a little bit, but very dry. Northwest Territories very dry, and also the Midwest very dry as well because of that heat dome. So let's take a look at the CONUS view now. A look at the surface map. And I think we did this already, but look at it again here. And you can see, here's Franklin making that weird thing. So let's go to the actual temperatures here this week to show you the heat dome that's going to be building. All right. So look at that. So here we are today. Actually, we had highs up near 104 already. It's showing that. I guess I have to go back to the weather and hazards map. Didn't look that hot there, but somewhere I still have this up. So we'll go to the highs for today. All right, here we go. So let's see what the highs were. Yeah, look at this. Yeah, Kansas City, hundreds so far north, too. Crazy. Lincoln, Nebraska, 90, and let's see if it was humid there as well. Are you kidding me? The dew point is 81 at Topeka right now. 88 with a dew point of 81. Are you kidding me? That's got to be a mistake. 82 at 75. Yeah, there's a lot of humidity with this. Olyth, dew point 79. Yeah, that's what's making this heat dome so bad. It's very humid as well. So that's not good at all. Thank God we're not going through this because it's pretty bad. So basically, Dallas, it's actually better in Dallas with a lower dew point. And you go north even into Iowa, you have 93 for a high dew point. So yeah, we're already seeing those 80-degree dew points. Dreaded 80-degree dew points there spreading north. So getting back to the models here, this is going to expand. So again, it's going to expand northward as we head into tomorrow. You'll see it goes northward. Even North Dakota might be dealing with, South Dakota might be dealing with the hundreds. And look at that. Look at that heat dome. This is going to be a historic heat dome. It's going to go into even Wisconsin, Minnesota. Hundreds all the way up there. Look at that. That is absolutely nuts. So you can see the heat is just being focused right in that one spot there. And again, hundreds all the way up there. This is going to test the Midwest's power grid quite a lot. And then as we get toward the end of the week into the weekend, you'll see it starts getting pushed down as we get into next. So yeah, that's thank God that's not coming here. My gosh, that's all I could say. But yeah, you can see, generally speaking, though, it stays hot in the Midwest. Look at this. So it generally stays hot in the Midwest. That's not good. That's not good at all. As far as the Pacific goes, they won't be seeing that heat, but not going to see much rain either for the wildfire situation. That heat, it could make its way up into Canada, too, some of the Canadian provinces. And then the other thing is the dew points. So if we look at the dew points here, let's look at the dew points here. I'll move this back over here. You can see these very high dew points here. So you can see how high these dew points are in the heat dome. It's nuts. And you'll see we will get into some of that humidity Friday, and then the weekend we'll get a cold front coming through. All right, so that kind of goes over everything. Let's get back to the local area here and talk about. We're already in dew points, so let's go ahead and look at that. So you can definitely feel that humidity, southwest winds. And tomorrow you can see westerly flow. So that's why tomorrow is going to be worse than today. And then the winds shift to the north by Tuesday, northeast. It's going to be refreshing and bringing a lot of cooler air. Let's look at our temperatures. So air temperatures tomorrow, we're going to be having highs near 90, I think. I think with that westerly wind, it's not going to be much of a sea breeze. And then temperatures drop tomorrow night By morning, we're in the around 60 degrees, and then Tuesday is going to be a lot more comfortable. Temperatures only in the mid to upper 70s, so it'll be a lot better. But, of course, with the cold front comes the threat of thunderstorms. So let's see what the HRRR is generating with this cold front. And it's not really generating much. It's generating very scattered activity tomorrow night. And that's all that it's generating. Let's look at the NAM. We have the NAM to look at as well. So here is the NAM. You can see very scattered activity. So I'm not really seeing much of a chance of thunderstorms. You can go to the Storm Prediction Center here and move this to tomorrow. And you can see that the main risk is going to be in, the Rockies. So, because of the moisture from Hilary. That's going to be coming through. So let's go to the GFS and look at, and again, it's just because of the way this front is and oriented, the way it's sinking south like a backdoor, but, there could be something. We'll see what happens. So let's look at the GFS here as dew points as we go into the rest of this week here. You'll see, stay with the comfortable air, and then as we get toward Thursday, the wind starts shifting to the south. That's going to bring the humidity back and more rain chances for Friday. And then for Saturday, we have this front that's going to come through. But it might stall out. Well, I'm going to have to take a look at right now. It's kind of hard to say what's going to happen. Here is Franklin. So we're going to have to watch that. Looking at our air temperatures. And again, I have the GFS. I think it'll be near 90 tomorrow. But then much better on Tuesday. Wednesday, staying comfortable, 70s, start warming up a little bit. Here's that heat dome again, affecting parts of Michigan as well. They're could have 100 degrees there as well. And then Friday, you can see the heat dome luckily gets cut off. We don't get into it at all. And it cools off again by the Saturday. So thank God that's not coming here. So let's look at the skies. This is the GFS, obviously plenty of clouds for tomorrow. Mostly of the high variety. Tuesday, we're hoping it was going to clear out by Wednesday. So hopefully Wednesday we can get some sunshine, get some clear skies, and hopefully not smoke. But Thursday might have some high clouds. And then the weekend, we'll have to see what happens with this front. It's kind of hard to say right now at that point. I don't like running a cloud forecast that far in advance. Let's look at the RGM here. So here's the RGM. It's mostly going to be high clouds tomorrow. And then for Tuesday, it's showing sunshine and maybe some passing high clouds. And then Wednesday, we're supposed to have sunshine, but it's showing some high clouds here. And it's showing that because of the jet stream, we may be dealing with smoke. I'm worried about that. Or we may be dealing with some wildfire smoke as we get toward that's going to be going over the top of the heat dome and coming back toward us. So let's go run the smoke model. So this is tomorrow. You can see you're just dealing with the smoke. Here comes the front coming through. You see that clean air in eastern Canada. That's what we're trying to get into. This is showing Tuesday. So we're trying to get into it, but you can see we're on the border. So we'll have to see what happens. But there's a lot of smoke out there that's going to be making its way east. And we still have the fires going in the Northwest Territories as well that we have to watch. So there's a lot of smoke out there. You can see pretty much everybody, even Greenland is seeing smoke at this point. We'll run the near surface smoke as well. So here's the near surface smoke. Not seeing too much thick near surface smoke here. It's mostly in the northwest. You can see we have improving air quality for Tuesday as that front pushes through. We got that out of the way. MODIS is down. We don't have any MODIS satellite data to look at. So let's go now to the Climate Prediction Center, and we'll take a look at the rest of this month, 6 to 10 day outlook. You can see the pattern here. Below normal in the east, temperatures well below normal precipitation in the Midwest and the Great Lakes area. And it is showing above normal precipitation in the Pacific Northwest. So that is good news. Hopefully maybe that'll help get those fires under control, though on the models didn't look like there was that much rain until maybe as we get toward next week. So here we go. Below normal temperatures. So it's a good pattern for us. Staying cool. The heat is generally in the Midwest and West. And they do have above normal precipitation. It's mainly because of the moisture from Hilary, perhaps. So speaking of Hilary, let's get back to Hilary here because we're going to talk more about that. let's head to the west coast here, western U.S., so we can kind of run this through here and show you the moisture from Hilary as it moves inland. So you can see, look at all that heavy rain. This is tomorrow, absolutely pouring. Western Bakersfield, Nevada, those inland areas in California, Big Bear Lake as well, getting it hard. Then it moves into eastern Oregon. You can see the moisture there, and into Montana. Looks like a lot of it skips Washington, but there's a little bit of leftover moisture here, and that up a little cutoff low that might actually help as we get toward later in the week. You can see, we're looking at the RGM. Okay. Well, let me go to the GFS. I wanted to use a different model. Let's see, there's the moisture there. Generally agrees with the RGM. There's the moisture. You can see it there. But you see, unfortunately, it avoids the western parts of Washington and Oregon where these wildfires are at. But it looks like some of that moisture might get in there and help. And there could be some precipitation there, perhaps. We'll have to see. It's certainly, at least they're not getting the heat dome, which would be the worst thing for them. So maybe looking a little more favorable, maybe for them to get some of these wildfires under control right now. Because again, if we look here, you'll see all the smoke from these fires here, and these fires are just so bad over here. You can again see. Let me run this a little more here, so you can see these fires are just burning all over the place. This is just over the border in Canada, Washington, and right there you can see here. In fact, we can add the layer. Oh, that's right. I can't. We don't have the modus. I can't add the layer for the fires burning. You can see lots of smoke here from these fires. So unfortunately, I can't add it. This is Alaska. This is an Alaska view here. You can see again the smoke from these fires. So it's a bad situation. Going back here. So again, if we look at the amount of rainfall that's going to fall, and I'll use some of the more short-range models like the NAM 12, which we now have 48 hours of. So we can watch the moisture again come in. You can see here's the center of it right here, moving in, and moves over Nevada. And this is going to be a lot of flooding, landslides. Again, this is an area that's not accustomed to getting heavy tropical rain like this. So it's going to cause a lot of flooding. So that's the concern here. You'll also notice, yep, that's the tropical depression that we'll have to watch in the Gulf right now. You know what, I'll talk about that tomorrow because there's so much stuff going on. Lastly, we'll go and look at the total accumulated precip here on this, and you'll see here that, yeah, there is going to be a lot more rain to fall here. Another at least 2 to 3 inches, maybe 4 inches in some of these mountainous areas, especially getting hit hard, and that's going to be rough for them. So I want to go back to the weather and hazards map if I didn't close it down. And I don't know if I did. I might have closed it down. I did not close it down. So let's go look at our current conditions out there again in Southern California, where, again, they're getting hit by Tropical Storm Hilary right now. So let's see what we got here. You see some pretty strong wind gusts again. And again, it's pretty crazy how humid it is in some of these areas, too. That's the other thing that's really interesting. I want to look at San Diego itself. So south-south wind, west wind at dew point 66. Here's San Diego, Montgomery Field reporting heavy rain. 67 with dew point of 63. We'll just take a look and see what the day was like there. You see all the rain that's being reported there. A lot of rain. Though I don't see any crazy wind gusts, at least. But it's going to be the rain. That's the main threat with this. And again, unusually high dew points. I mean, look, before the storm, they had dew points in the 70s. I mean, that's unheard of for San Diego. So, yeah, dew points around 70. So, yeah, this is, again, all day today. Just tropical weather in Southern California. I mean, it's unbelievable what we're witnessing. But I think that's going to wrap up this weather update. There's so many things going on, and, we'll have more to talk about tomorrow. Anyway, have a good night, and let's see, we got a 53-mile-an-hour wind gust here at Mid-Hills. So this is all moving in, and there is, the last thing I should check, probably lightning. So we're going to go to the lightning detector, and we're going to check that as well. because I want to see how much lightning is being produced by these storms as they move in. I don't see a whole lot of lightning here. Oh, there is some east of Phoenix. But we have to watch out for that because for the wildfires. We're over here. I don't think so. All the rain they're getting, they're not going to have to worry about wildfires. But yeah, it doesn't look like there's too much lightning being produced by these storms. But anyway, that is going to wrap up this weather update. So yeah, a lot going on as we watch this tropical storm move inland into California, Southern California. Never thought I'd be saying that. Unbelievable. Anyway, have a good night.